Have you ever felt like there's an aspect of your life that bubbles up when you least expect it? Some slice of your past where a trial, a tribulation, a trauma, a loss, some type of suffering is re-invoked in the present moment of now, and you're just not sure how to shake that out of your web. My name is Heather Feather. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine, and today's topic is the slice. You know, life is like a pie, and everybody gets a different pie. And some people have a delicious pie and only one slice has rotted and is gross and is not edible. And some people have half a pie that is rotted and is gross and only half of it is edible or digestible. And some people only get one slice that is edible. And most of their life is rotten and not easily digested and not easy to take in or to receive. And so when we have a trauma, when we have a trial, when we have a tribulation, one thing that often happens is we hold the breath. And as we hold the breath, we lock into the musculature the memory of the trauma as it's occurring, because we're not breathing and releasing it as we're moving through it. And as we hold that in, we get to a place where we might need to do somatic therapy through ecstatic dance or through breath work to get it out of our musculature. But it's also in our memories, and that can just flush up in the field. And Heather Feather certainly had this. I had the 25th anniversary yesterday of my mother having died in a car accident. She got in an accident on the 5th. She was in the hospital for 10 days. A blood clot in her leg went into her lungs on the 10th day, killed her, which was October 15th. And then October 18th is her birthday. And so those 3 days, Heather, every year for the past 25 years, has had the opportunity to have a relationship to how she's going to have and hold, or what slice of the pie she's going to choose to chew on regarding the topic called "My Mother is Dead." And one thing is certainly true, she's dead. She's not in her flesh costume. One thing I also know to be true is that she's more available to me than ever before, because spirit has much easier access. You know, when my mom was alive, she'd be at her job and I couldn't talk to her. Right now, I could talk to her in this moment. You know, that's my personal philosophy based on my own experiences. That being said, though, I'm still having an experience of the pain of the loss of my mom's strawberry blonde hair and her beautiful freckles and her warm smile and the terracotta color she would always wear, and how loving she was, how much she loved children, how much she loved humans, all humans, how much of a grace she was. Like, getting to see her personality with my own eyes is not an option. And so every death anniversary, every accident anniversary, every birthday, every October, I get to have a relationship with how I'm going to have and hold these days. Yesterday, I went on a date with a gent I've been dating, and we went on an amazing long bike ride, and we went to a park, and I wanted to do some earthing, and so we laid in the grass and put our feet in the grass, and a tree sprinkled us with water and gave us little tree sprite blessings, and we had a wonderful time. And it's not a place I could have held it in the first year of her death, but one of the things I do know is that these dates will come every year all the way to my grave. And so what kind of a relationship do I want to have? Do I want to chew on the rotten fruit slice of the pie of how life can be held? Of I don't see it as sweet, I see it as rotting loss? Do I want to constantly chew on the bones of loss, of this person is gone, I'm going to deny that they have a soul even though it's my belief? Or do I want to sometimes remember the sweetness, the nectar, the joy? My mother was a beautiful, joyous, happy, loving woman, attentive listener, amazing human. I pray every day to be more like her. It'd be like having Yoda as a mother that was also very warm and, and fun to be around. And so some of the things I've done throughout the years are I've gone and helped single parents. My mother was a single parent. And so helping other people on those days has made them sacred. Being able to volunteer, being able to get out of my own stuff, being able to serve. Volunteering is a great way to come out of depression anyhow. If you're ever depressed, or you're ever sad, go volunteer. Go help someone in the world. Go see how powerful your actions actually are. But it's not just about the loss of grief, because grief is something that you need to move through. There are stages of grief. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross is one of the foremost knowers of the stages of grief, and she's written books on this. And, it starts with denial, and then there's anger. And so there's this process we go through as we grieve typically. And it's okay to go through that process. But the question is, Are you going to take something like the loss of a life and have it be a drama and a strife from the moment it occurs all the way to your grave? Like, are you going to ever want to have a different relationship with that person, with their soul, with their spirit? Do you want to try communicating with them psychically? Do you ever want to try doing something that, like, my mom loved butterflies. Every October I could go serve butterflies. You know what I mean? My mom loved children. Every October I could go serve children, and I could make a difference about something she was passionate about and honor her life by bringing in energy where she as a soul wanted it to be. But it's not just about the death. It's not just about the loss. Maybe you've been assaulted. Maybe you've had some type of, maybe you've been mugged, or maybe you've been sexually assaulted, or have had some type of aggressive trauma. And Heather Feather has had several experiences in that vein. And I have been in board meetings where the memory flushes up, it bubbles up in my awareness. And I do think that's because our consciousness cannot, like the extremeness of a trauma in the moment, our consciousness almost can't process it. So it gives it to us piecemeal so that we can slowly begin to digest and feel what it is that occurred in that tribulation. And so as these traumas have come up in my life, what I've learned to do is breathe. Like, I'm okay, you're not in this experience right now, Heather, you're in a board meeting. Let's breathe. Let's find our breath. Let's quell anxiety through the breath. It's a very powerful, free, constant, available tool if you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, or in a trauma state or high cortisol state. Let me just breathe into my calm and my peace, and let me clear my mind, the air of my mind, with the air of my breath, and let me shift perspectives a little bit in this moment of now. So one of the things we can do when we are considering the hardships of our life, and there's not a two-legged that escapes hardship, save, a child that doesn't make it here, like there's not a two-legged that isn't, if you're living some life, you're having some trial and tribulation, it's difficult from the moment we come in, we cry, and then even once you get here, no matter what your label is, whether you're a man or a woman, no matter what your race is or culture is, doesn't matter the race or culture, no matter what your sexual identification, your gender identification, all humans suffer. Suffering is unpleasant. But the question Heather Feather is asking you to stay is, what are you going to do with that suffering? Are you going to spend your life chewing on rotten pie because life offers trial, tribulation, suffering, hardship, pain, grief, loss, in addition to joy, blessing, bounty, every single day of your life, every single breath of your life? To the same degree you have some rotten pie, you have some sweet, sweet nectar to chew on too. You can turn poison like Lord Shiva in the throat into amrit or nectar by choosing to speak and think and be in a reframed way about how you're going to have and hold this facet of your life. Are you always going to have a dark, negative, painful, dramatic relationship to loss, to assault, to poverty, to suffering? You can definitely be like, well, and others had this conversation, well, the 1% is, stealing all the wealth. They're commodifying us through our phones and constantly marketing to us to get us to purchase trash food so that we'll be sick and then we can be a part of the multi-billion-dollar pharmaceutical industry, blah, 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 blah. And then we can also go, well, also lots of people have been super poor and have become millionaires. We've all seen that. We've all seen many iterations of people that the struggle was real and they didn't have any money and they held a vision for their life and they created a totally different story than that story of strife. And I'm saying, is it viable that these individuals recognize that some of their pie is sweet and they started striving to eat the fruits of that meat, instead of constantly stewing like you're going down the drain around all of the pieces that are not working and are causing pain. So what I'm asking you today, is there any way you can have and hold your trials, your tribulations, your pains, your hardship in a new way, in a new light, and eat a new slice of sweet pie? You can always subscribe to Rare Bird Medicine on YouTube, like and comment there. Heather Feather always loves your thoughts. I'm Wen.